Hello from Beer Australia Reviews, and as you can see, I'm with Chris at Brewshed Project Maylands.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Nice, okay, so remember it's Beer Australia Reviews, not whatever you called me last time. Yep, so this is the first video of 2023, and it's a big day for Chris because you've got some new equipment.
I bought myself a pre-Christmas present, and I have upgraded all my brewing gear.
Yep.
So yeah, we have some pretty deluxe new stuff that we're going to be using today.
Yeah. Okay, so what equipment have you bought?
I first of all have upgraded the fermenter.
Yep.
We went from using a plastic 25 litre, now we've gone full stainless steel up to 50 litres.
Yep.
And then the brew kettle, we were using a all-in-one, I guess, a brew kettle, and now we have upgraded again that to a larger size, all stainless steel.
Yep.
And it can, it can handle the bigger batches.
Okay, well, so what sort of equipment is it? What brand is it?
It's by a company called Cheeky Peak Brewing in Victoria. And it's their Nano X range. I guess it's their new range for last year now.
So, Chris, are you nervous about using this new equipment?
I'll be honest. The answer is yes. I've had it. I've had it for about a month.
Yeah.
There's not that many videos on YouTube,
yeah.
Specifically about this equipment. So
we'll have to make the first ones then.
Yeah. So I've been trying to have a look around at a whole lot of different videos, but it's been sitting. It's been sitting at the back for well over a month for me to build the courage up to use it for the first time.
Yeah, okay, well here's the excuse today. Tell us about the beer that you're going to do today.
We are going to be doing a clear wheat beer, German style. We're going to keep this one low at just over 5%.
Yeah, so a Kristall Weizenbier.
Oh, Kristall Weizenbier it is.
Yes, Kristall Weizen. Yep.
And that's today's brew. So something, we're in summer. We'll let that one ferment for about 2 weeks, and then we'll let it condition for probably 3 or 4 weeks, and then we'll be drinking it, in 5-6 weeks time.
Okay, and end of February time?
We'll aim for then, but we might find that the weather's pretty good for drinking before then, and we might start it a little bit early, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got some guests coming over at the end of February, so that would be ideal for that one.
Perfect.
Okay. So, as always, tell us about the water profile today, because you always do the correct water profile for the type of beer that you're making, don't you?
We do. I really love my water, and we know that Perth water is the worst on the planet for brewing. So we've started off with some RO water.
RO?
And RO water, we've just taken...
What's RO water?
RO, reverse osmosis water. So we've stripped out all the impurities from Perth's underground.
Yeah, Perth water is absolutely awful. I don't know how anyone can drink them from the tap.
No, it's terrible. So we've stripped it back so it's nice and clear, and you can see when we look at the video that we will be adding in a little bit of chlorine, some Epsom salts, and some gypsum. And we've just balanced those off. We've picked a water profile from this kind of beer in Germany. They have got good water, so we've tried to replicate that.
Yeah, so this would be like a Bavarian style beer then. That's the sort of place. So it's a mountainous region. They use the water that comes down from the mountains straight into the brewery in a few places I've seen.
Yeah, well, let's see if we can do a good job of replicating that type of water. There's a lot of, I'll be honest, there is quite a few additives that we've put into it today, so that should come through nicely. Yeah,
okay. So now, tell us about your ingredients. Apart from the water that's going in there, what sort of grain is going into this one? I presume it's a mix of barley and wheat, is it?
It is, yes. Yeah. So what we've got here is we've gone, all in all, we're looking at 5.8 kilos of grain. Yeah. And that's going in to produce a 20 litre barrel of beer as such. So we've got 44% is a wheat malt pale, Weimann. Yep. We've got 25% is a Pilsner. We've got 16%, which is a Bohemian Pilsner Weimann. And then just to round up the acidic we've got some acid malt that's gone in there, and a little bit of Munich malt as well to round that out.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, that's a pretty modest grain bill, and then from that, as we move into the boiling,
Yep.
we'll start to put some hops in, some Says hops, and then some, I don't know how to pronounce them, so I'll let you pick that.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Hella Bunken Helen Sucker.
Yeah, there we go. They're a German wheat beer hops.
Yep.
And a little bit of Cascade as well.
Yeah.
So we'll do those over the 30-minute boil, and that should add a little bit of bitterness in there. It's not aiming to be very bitter whatsoever. The IBUs are quite low. So, yeah, things should be good.
Yeah. So have you made a Kristall Weizenbier before?
I've experimented, but nothing like this.
Yeah. Because you've done some cloudy wheat beers before.
Yeah, we've done some of those, and last year we produced a couple, which we did the multi-step. So we raised the temperature, then we would hold it, and did that step mash process.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So this one we haven't. We've just, as I said, just because I'm trying this out for the first time, this gear. I just thought, let's just do a 30-minute mash at 65 degrees. And then we'll raise it up to 75 degrees for another 10 minutes.
Okay.
Just keep it simple. Today's just, I guess, learning how to use some new brewery.
Yeah.
And
there's always a learning curve, isn't there, when
Yeah.
you've got some new equipment. You can never grab a brand new piece of equipment and do it perfectly first time. So I'm nervous about your beer as well.
But so far, I think it in playing around with the gear, it all looks good. So we'll see how today's brew day turns out.
Yeah. So the question I've got about this one. So you've got the new equipment and you've immediately gone for a Kristall Weizenbier, which is a clear one. Will the equipment that you've got help you make a clear wheat beer as opposed to a cloudy one?
Yes. Yeah, so what we'll do when it goes into the fermenter is, from the fermenter into the keg, I will filter it.
Yep.
And then the little secret that we also include is some gelatin.
Yep.
And we'll put the gelatin in as it goes in, and a week, 1 to 2 weeks.
That's your findings.
Yeah. So that'll just drop any of that cloudiness straight out to it.
Yeah.
So if that can set in the conditioning fridge for a month, the longer the better. But on a day like this, you want to be drinking a nice lager.
Oh yeah. So it's a lagery type of a beer, but it's a Kristall Weizenbier. I sort of bounce between like a cloudy Weizenbier and a clear Weizenbier. I like both of them. Weizenbiers are one of my favourite styles of beers, as you already know. There's not that many places though who do a Kristall Weizenbier around here. I know they did do that at Manta Ray Brewery a little while ago, and also Jeff, if you're watching, please start doing your cloudy Weizenbier, please, so that when we go to Long Neck, it's actually there ready for us to drink.
And that's that's a beautiful beer that they produce in there. So now I look forward to it.
Yeah, so so they actually do the very same thing with the water that you do here as well, because it's not that far away geographically from where we are right now, where their brewery is, but they produce beers with really, they just sparkle as they come out. You can tell that they've processed the water correctly when they make their beers.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, they do a good job.
Yep. Anyway, okay, so now what's the so how long then will this one be lagering for? Did you tell me that one before?
I'm going to run with about a month.
Yeah.
What generally happens is that I stick it in the fridge and just let it sit, and then usually I'll have someone over once a week for a beer and a pizza, and we'll end up generally just going.
I'll volunteer on this one.
We just have a little sample of it, and you think, each week you have a little sample, and at some point we'll know that it's ready to go.
Yeah. Okay, great. So
I guess the one thing that we're doing a little bit different this time is also in the yeast.
Yeah.
I get all my gear from Brewmart, and they're in Bayswater. Yeah. And in the last couple of months, they've brought on board a new yeast manufacturer, and they're called Bluestone. So this yeast that we're going to be using is Munich Bluestone yeast. It's a liquid yeast. It'll end up giving us those banana-esque aromas, a little bit of clove,
Yep.
all the things that we really like in this type of beer.
Yeah.
So I've given this one a crack.
Yeah. Oh, you said an interesting thing earlier when you were telling me about this one, about the generations of yeast.
Yeah, so when you're home brewing, you not necessarily always got access to, fresh yeast.
Yeah.
And if you recycle and reuse your yeast, after a couple of generations, you'll find that it'll just get better. And a lot of the brewing friends, well, a lot of my friends in the brewing community, they generally like to think of your second, your third batch is probably where that yeast will really peak. So if you have the ability at the end of your ferment to grab your yeast, refrigerate it, you can use that for a couple of months afterwards.
Yeah.
So this year, we got a lot of brewing to do this year, and I'm confident that once I figure out how to use the equipment properly, that we'll start to see we'll reuse some of these yeasts and see if we can get better with some of these beers.
Yeah. Oh, question for you. Do you, even though this is the first time the first batch you will have made with this totally new equipment, new setup, do you want me to review this one live on TV with the first drink?
Oh, that'd be an interesting one, because we'll definitely we'll do a side by side with another one.
I'll find what's the Kristall right. There's my local vintage cellars has just started stocking a few more German Weizenbiers, and they've got a few different brands of Kristall Weizenbier, which are actually better quality than the Weizenstephaner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's do a side by side and see how close to perfect it goes.
Did I do this before with like an IPA or a pale ale of yours? I did, didn't I? I compared yours.
Yeah. You've done a few of those. So no, I'm looking forward to it. I think that I've really, in the last couple of months, really started drinking more German beer. I don't think I've found a German beer that's not perfect. They really just make good beer.
There is a reason why they haven't changed the recipe for like 150 years or something or other, because they've perfected it.
Yeah.
So now I'm all for like changing the recipes and trying different sorts of beers, not mango beer.
Mango beer.
Yeah, not mango beer. Obviously, don't put mangoes in beer. That's just But there is a reason why they found the recipe, 150 years ago, 200 years ago, whatever it was, and they stick with it because it works. It's the best beer.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, I mean, I like my beer from different parts of the world. I like my real ales from the UK. I like my Belgian ales. I like my Czech Pilsner beers, but I do like my German wheat beers, German Weizen beers.
And for our summers, I just find that it's just absolutely the perfect type of beer for this time of the year.
Yep. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you've heard me say it before. This would be a good beer to drink on you when you come back from the beach.
Absolutely. Yeah, or on the beach.
Yep. Okay, so I think Chris is now going to go and brew this beer. We'll get some footage of him brewing the beer, and then we'll do a review of this one in a few weeks' time or a month's time when it's ready to drink. So, yeah. Thanks, Chris.
All right. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Yep. Enjoy your beers, and thanks for watching.